I'm not even checking. I'm just pushing it. Woo-hoo! It's the Thursday show. Yay! Yes, a rebub.
Do.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Hi, Mrs. Ryan.
Hello.
Hello. No, that's not it. That's not it. There you are. Hello, everybody. It's a weird one. Welcome back to the old late night play set. I don't know where to start, so I guess we'll just pull it off at the usual place. Today is Thursday, September 5th, 2019. My name is Jay Ryan. This is Nicole Ryan. We are the Ryans, and this is a good old-fashioned fun time in the old late night play set. Well, it is. There's so much stuff to talk about, Mrs. Ryan, including why we weren't here yesterday. Well, let's start off with where we left everybody. I think that's probably the best thing to do.
Good.
We were here on Monday and had the best time with our old friend Matthew Levitt. Hope you all enjoyed that show as well. It was just so much fun for me to reminisce. And
It's so great to see
plus,
him.
we speak the same language, so
Yes.
kind of catch up and nostalgic.
Watching you guys talk is awesome.
And we left you saying that our guest on Wednesday would be Dave Waite. Okay, well, after the show, well, you know what? We're going to get to that in a little bit, but Dave Waite was not here yesterday. Also from Monday, that we were talking about the weekend and all the things that we had forgotten and all this stuff. The Motoring Club. Huge thanks to Michael
Yes.
Rapetti over at the Motoring Club for inviting
Thank
us
you.
out to the open house on Sunday. I think it was Sunday. Yeah, because it's a long weekend.
Right.
And it was barbecue and cars and great people and a lot of fun. Saw so many familiar faces.
So many. Such a good group. Like, I'm so impressed with him and everyone
Yeah.
that showed up. It was awesome.
He's doing everything he wanted to do. I'm
Yeah.
so excited to watch him grow and do the things that he sets out to do and accomplish. I mean, you can bet on him, folks. If you're thinking about investing in the Motoring Club, I would highly recommend it. He knows what he's doing.
That's the way to go.
And also, we were talking about some of his ideas for the future the other day, privately, and he's got a lot more. Yeah,
I
he's got a lot
bet
more
his
tricks up his
trajectory
sleeve.
is always
He'll be,
up.
yeah, Mike Orpetti. Good. We have to start using that membership more, though. That's one thing.
Yes, please.
All right.
And you donated a ton of awesome stuff.
Spring cleaning, all that sort of thing. The end of summer cleaning, in our case.
It's a great place to put it for all
Getting
you
rid of
guys that
stuff.
like resources about this stuff.
I'm going to tell them what we did
Oh.
since they don't know. We just donated a whole bunch of old Panorama and Excellence magazines, like, what would have been crates and crates of magazines. The type of thing where how often do you actually look at them? Whereas, oh my gosh, if somebody wants a buyer's guide for a 996 or blah, 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 whatever the heck, just go over to the Motoring Club and check it out from their lending library. That's what it's there for. And we highly encourage other people to donate to it as well.
Yes.
Great, yeah.
It's a great spot.
Plus, it's a great place to go sit, buy a coffee, and read a book. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really fun. Great place to hang out. So, that's that. Those were the hellos I had. Mrs. Ryan, now it's time to get on with the show. And then when it's time for the guest, we'll tell the guest story later.
Okay.
In the meantime, how are you doing? How you feeling? I remember what you said yesterday, but nobody else knows. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
What's happening?
I'm still separated. That's what I said the other day. Like, my emotionally and intellectually, like, I can maintain two different.
Which is a good thing. Sounds bad, but it's a good
It sounds bad, but it's better than them being together and confused all the time. So
thing. Right.
I'm aligning them. So I don't feel great, but whatever. I'm just tired. Who's not? So
I don't
that's
know my
life.
glasses today. That's what it is. There's a couple things I was like, what's a little bit off? Why are things I'm having a hard time? Hey, hello. That's part of my thing.
That'll do it.
Well, I'm glad that you're at least, I don't know, the same as yesterday.
Yeah.
That's actually progress for us. Everything
It's a
one day at a
bummer.
time because she doesn't know how she's going to feel when she wakes up. So sometimes we'll have plans for like an event or whatever and, go into bed and think, great, I'm so excited, confirm, yes, absolutely. And then, 5:30, 6 in the morning or whatever or comes around when you wake up and it's like, that's not. Last week we had to cancel something for the same reason. I can't remember what it was, but something we didn't go. Oh, that's what it was. We didn't get to it. Thank you. This was very nice. The good fellas over there at Cars and Coffee Manhattan Beach, or Manhattan Beach Cars and Coffee, whatever, but you guys know it, over at the Point down in El Segundo. That's its own irony. Anyway, we meant to come. Sorry that. Thank you for the invite. We meant to make it. We had every intention. Didn't make it, but we'll be at the next one for sure.
Yes.
Blather, blather, blather. Mrs. Ryan, I have some East Coast feeds to play.
Oh, yeah?
We have a Dave Watch. We have a TBT. We've got a lot of the usual stuff and maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
I'm going to... I think it makes most sense to just check in with the East Coast feed, rather, and get it off the usual way.
Okay.
This is a little weird again because we saw one of these yesterday.
Okay.
No one else has. So this will be a repeat for us. Checking in at Ridgefield BMW with Danbury Chive. Let's see where he is today and what's going on. Roll it out.
Oh, they're coming out.
Oh, they're all over the place. They're everywhere. I can see it. It's disgusting. There's ants everywhere. Ants everywhere.
Ants everywhere.
So that is your latest East Coast feed. Back from vacation. We got an ant infestation here at BMW Ridgefield. On someone's carpet. The entire car's full of fucking ants. Don't know how, where, why. Hopefully you guys get this. Woo! Welcome back to work.
Whew. Yeah. All I can say is it put me in the mind of the one where it was full of dog food. Remember, there was kibble. I don't know. We still don't know if it was like an accident, like a Costco trip gone horribly awry, or if it was like a senior prank. Yeah, and it looked more like the latter. Dog food in the wiring, under the seats, in the vents.
Everywhere.
I mean, literally everywhere. They totaled the car because of it, unbelievably. I don't know what's worse. I mean, I'm grossed out because the dog food, the smell and the texture and all that stuff. But the idea of...
They're moving.
So many parts to it, yeah.
There are so many things. And like,
gross.
Kaz, I adore you, but
Gross.
man, that is nasty and gnarly. Oh.
Well, it's not his car, obviously.
I know, but he has to deal with it and send it to us.
Somebody does.
Thanks.
He just sends us these beautiful feeds. Oh, my goodness gracious. I think that's about as close as he has to get to it. Anyway, let's check in again. Let's see where he is. I have not watched this one. Checking East Coast feed. Danbury Chive. Steve Kaz. Roll it out.
That is Jay Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Little East Coast feed.
East Coast feed.
East Coast feed coming to you live because it's a beautiful day on the weekend. Coraline just said, Daddy, isn't it a beautiful day? Right, Monkey? Right? And what do we have this morning for breakfast?
Bagel.
And what'd you get from Bagel Man?
A colorful bagel.
A colorful bagel because she loves the colorful ones. There's no flavor. It's a plain bagel, but it's colorful, so she loves it, right?
And I got cake pop.
And we got a cake pop. That's right, because Daddy spoils her. There you go. That's it. That's it. We want to say hi to you guys and send some random love. East Coast feed. Say goodbye to Jay Nicole.
Bye, Nicole.
Bye, guys.
Aww.
That little girl.
Yeah, that's pretty cute.
She's so
That's
adorable.
pretty cute. Good grief.
Yeah.
You know.
Colorful bagels, man. That's what it's about.
Colorful bagels?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's adorable.
There's a place in Brooklyn. That doesn't matter. But there's a place in Brooklyn that makes a rainbow bagel. You ever seen that?
No.
It's weird. It looks like a tie-dye kind of a thing. It's really impressive, though. And apparently they're good.
Great.
I don't know if they taste any different. I'm assuming it's just food coloring and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Let's see. I think I'd like to maybe do the TBT after, and we're going to do the guest round. I think now it's time to ask the question, Mrs. Ryan, that's on everyone's mind.
No.
People are asking me, they're texting me, they're phoning me, they're sending me messages on Facebook, Instagram, and MySpace. Friendster, classmates, I don't know. I'm old. Anyway.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, what's going on, Mrs. Ryan? Dun, 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 dun. Woo.
Well, everyone,
Mm-hmm.
if you thought you might be a left-hander when you were a kid, like me, they're finding out now. They're looking more into things. Scientists people that are studying
Scientists
things.
study people.
I know. I keep saying they, and like that sounds generic, but I mean scientists and people that are exploring the body and stuff. They're realizing that left-handers and right-handers' brains form differently.
Oh.
They can figure stuff out now before people are old and dead. So they're using new technology to watch how stuff happens.
Cool.
And they're finding, when I was a kid, it was like left brain or artsy people and creative people.
Yeah, I don't remember which hemisphere was which, but that's what I remember as
And
well.
right brain was like smart.
The analytical.
Or maybe the opposite.
Whatever one it was. I remember the same math.
Right. So they're finding that left-handers, right brain creatives, typically actually can access higher parts of their language brain sectors that I didn't say that. Totally right.
Are you left-handed?
I'm a combination.
Oh.
Ambidextrous is what it
Ambidextrous.
was called when we were kids. But it changes how your brain forms. So it's a neat thing to think about because only 10% of the people are technically left-handed.
Oh.
It's super small because it's easier to be right-handed in our society. So
Well, society-wise, yeah.
we're trained a little bit that way. But if you are super smart with your vocabulary, you might actually be a left-handed.
I've always understood it to be whichever you're more apt to. You know what I mean? It doesn't really, left-handed or right-handed, I guess it. But way back in the day, I remember, I'm one of those weird people who remembers everything, like a Mary Lou Henner. Like,
Yeah.
not to her level, but I remember learning to find out in kindergarten whether you were left or right or whatever, nursery school, whenever this was. So which one you were going to hold the paintbrush in for your, whatever. I remember it way back when. So it was like they asked everybody, well, and then if you didn't know, well, which hand do you eat with? Well, which hand do you know what I mean? It was that kind of thing, and that helped you decide.
Yeah.
But basically from that moment forward, you made that choice, and then you have to live with it forever.
That's it, yeah.
It's weird to me. I understand
Yeah.
that there's a reason for it and everything, but it's weird to me because I know people who certainly, how about this, people who've had injuries, they have to go relearn their other side.
Yeah.
And I know people who've had, motorcycle or whatever, and they just lose a little bit of nerve, whatever, and they don't have as much dexterity as they do in the other hand. Not even a
Right.
full loss of I don't know. I feel like it's all just retrainable. Neuroplasty you call it, right? For the brain? It's the same thing for
Neuroplasticity.
the brain runs the body.
Yeah. Yeah, and
It operates it.
I feel lucky because I was a left-handed sports athlete kid when I was a kid. My left side was always like what I kicked with and like what I stick handled with.
Can I tell you, I've probably never told you this before, and it does not matter at all, but since we have nothing but time today. I am slightly similar to you in that I've always been right-handed, but when I was a kid, I inherited. He hadn't passed away, still not passed away. Oh, the folks are working on the roof again. That was Santa Claus is here. I'm sure you didn't hear it, but it scared the crap out of us. Anyway, my grandfather's golf clubs. My grandfather was a left-hander, so I learned how to play and swing with
Right.
left-handed clubs, even though I was if I were given
A righty,
yeah.
yeah.
So then it turned to like, batting in school and everything was
Right.
left-handed as well, even though I am awful at school. Sports, and sports is just not my, like I would have been a failure no matter what. I don't know, but it's very interesting that you said your athletic stuff was always left-handed. The baby athletic stuff I had was also left-handed.
Yeah, my batting people didn't know what to do with me because I was like I refused to hold right-handed.
really thought about
and
this
I didn't know what was wrong, but they were like turn around. I was like no.
Do you think about that frequently, and that's why it came up? Yeah, I've not thought about it since.
I think about it often when I hold my cane because like I want to hold it in different hand. Like I don't like holding stuff like that in my left hand.
Well, you're also different because you're not using your cane because like, you have a bad leg or a hip or something that you have to then nurse one side. You're using it for stability and for support because you don't know what's going to give out or when.
Right.
So you do have to. You look like a person who fakes their limp because it has to be all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super fun. Thanks, everyone.
I don't believe you.
I know. And I dropped my card. It's under your feet.
Oh. Oh, it sure is. You're going to go get it? You've already got the job. That's not appropriate. That's not appropriate, but it's my wife. We joke that way. It was inappropriate regardless. Inappropriate regardless. She's my wife. I'm trying to think if this is okay or not. It's probably still not. But you're my wife,
But
so for us it's okay, but we still probably shouldn't joke that way in front of other people, because then it's saying that, that's okay. That type of behavior is okay. Anyway, this is yours. Here you go.
Today.
Our
Wait-
timing's off. We should also say we're not shooting at the normal time. Everything's off this week. I'll get to that in just a few minutes.
HIV in London had the new
Oh,
cases.
great. Lighten it up.
I know. Wait. I bring it up.
No, it's amazing. Go ahead.
The cases have gone down. Their
that's
goal
good news.
by 2030 is to not have new cases. And so their whole impetus is awareness. So I think personally that goes far beyond sexually transmitted diseases. Like it's awareness of everything and like taking care of yourself when you're not feeling well. Like just awareness
That's
of
all of us,
like
too.
that having a cold is like your body's way of being like, calm down, slow down. Like it's fine. And
But
so
we need
that
to take a minute to combat our issues
yeah.
before we go back out on the field.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like is really happening with this awareness thing in the UK with HIV. But I'm super stoked the cases are down.
Either way, better thinking about it's great.
Yeah. Kevin James is going to have a new show on Netflix.
No kidding.
He's going to be the head of a NASCAR team whose daughter inherits it or something.
It sounds awful, but I can't wait. He's one of those. He's a guilty pleasure, and I shouldn't even say that because it's sort of insulting to him to call him a guilty pleasure. I think he's very, very funny, and I used to very much enjoy that King of Queens show. It was a modern day Honeymooners for me.
Totally. That's why I'm excited to see him back, and it's in the car world. Car
All he wants
space,
to do is to make everything great for the beautiful wife, and he just keeps screwing it up left and right.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see him in the car space.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That'll be fun. And then
Except that sounds very similar to a show that we wanted to pitch, but that's all right. I'd rather see somebody actually get it done.
there's plenty of room, and we're going to do it. We're totally different.
Oh, I love that.
And then lastly, though,
okay,
what was super neat for me was in New Zealand, but it's a guy from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
But he got on a roller coaster, and he saw someone's cell phone down, and he couldn't get it. And he's like, oh, they probably didn't know how to get to it. So they were going super fast on the roller coaster, and the phone just came up, and he caught it in the air, and it's a big deal because it's...
Hang on. The roller coaster's moving, obviously, and the phone was on the ground?
It was in his seat where his feet go.
Oh, his own phone. It was his own phone.
No, it was someone from before him.
Okay, but for whatever reason, it became airborne at that moment because of the centrifugal force of whatever, and the guy grabbed it out of the air.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because that could have killed somebody.
It's amazing, and I watched the video. Like, it's not even anywhere near him. Like, he had to put his hand out.
Just
near
a
his
magic
friend.
little snap.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
that's cool.
So you never know. I mean, you really never know. But
that's cool. I mean, you've seen the videos that go the other way too. Well, Fabio got hit in the face with a goose once. You remember Fabio?
Yeah,
the
it can
cover
go.
of the book guy. He became like a famous guy
Oh,
for
long
nothing
hair.
ever since.
He was like
he was
the
the model from all the
romance novels
books from the grocery stores and stuff in the old days.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he got famous for not really being famous, like just being a good-looking model guy.
Yeah, he was very pretty at the time.
Yeah.
So you never know, but this guy caught a phone, and the guy
That's
was
amazing.
super happy to have it back.
That's
Good
amazing.
job.
And that's been What's Going On, Mrs. Ryan. Oh, I'm screwing up my buttons here today. I gotta get it all right. That's all
Oh,
right.
no. What a day.
Yeah, I know. And that brings us to, all right, when we would normally do a guest right here. I have a very brief guest story, but it has been, let's see. I'm going to say this has been one of those weeks that just is uphill the whole way. Is that fair?
Yeah.
We had our wonderful friend Matthew Levitt on Tuesday, and that was great, as we talked about before. Very exciting and very relaxing, and it felt good and everything.
Yeah.
And we're setting off the week straight. It's going to be great because we had guests every day and everything. I don't remember. Shortly after we'd gotten done taping with that episode, the Wednesday guest who we talked about had to cancel. It was a very legitimate thing. I should also mention, too, the show has grown to a place and a point where, sorry, I zoomed out. I should come in here. Just realized I'm talking to you. The show has grown to a place where the guests are better than they used to be, and sometimes conflicts come up now, and we're not first position because we are still a little show, but we're at least able to get these people. So sometimes things do get pushed a couple times, or we've got it, but then like today there was a guy who we were supposed. We'll get to that. Anyway. So there was no hard feelings, the fact that he couldn't be here. In fact, it worked out amazing because somebody else we'd been dying to have back suddenly became available that day. And it was one of those no harm, no foul. It just figured. So this person came over, and it's somebody we like very much and respect very much. And one thing led to another on the technical side of yesterday. And it was just kerfuffle after kerfuffle after flaw after flaw. And energetically, it was just one of those where it sort of just didn't work out. Really, that's all it was. So we went through, we had a show canceled yesterday. We had another show that filled in. We shot that show. It's not airable for a multitude of reasons, technical reasons. And that brings us to today. So we had a guest scheduled for today, again, that we were very much looking forward to, named Brian Volk Weiss, who I believe you've already got some dates for. I think he's going to be back here soon.
Yeah.
But just how this thing works out. We were very excited to have this guy. He's kind of a hard get. And sure enough, he had a meeting change this morning, a green light meeting.
Green light meeting.
Changed to the same time as our taping schedule
Yeah.
today. And unfortunately, with what we do, we don't have like the, oh, sure, we'll just shift it an hour or whatever. There's a lot of pieces involved. So we're gonna postpone it. So the gist of it is we had a full week of shows. We actually had an extra guest come in and shot an extra show. And yet here we are with only one show on Monday, and you get the Ryans on Thursday. So it's good for us. We're very happy about it. It all worked out well. We
Yeah.
feel that we got the universal credit for putting in the effort and the work yesterday. It's one of those things. If we can, if at some point when we have a team and there's more people to work on things, I think some of these there are a few episodes where you've never seen. They're locked away in the vault. And I think that'll be one of them that will come out at some point.
Yeah.
But I don't currently have the abilities to do what
There's
we
a
needed
lot
to do.
that goes into what you do, what I do for the show, and I think
Stuff that's not seen.
yeah, and I think without going to be boring about stuff, like there's just tons of shit that goes into every side of it, so
Yeah.
everyone can learn.
And this is the
that
result,
way.
right? People are so, oh, but your show looks at this, all the stuff, and it's different. And that's why, though. I mean, it's a tremendous amount of effort that you don't see so that we can sit here and pretend that we know what we're doing and that we are comfortable doing it. So anyway, that's what's going on. That's why there's no guest today. That's why there's no break. That's why everything's a little different. That's why our energy's a little off. But we are very, very excited because we still have fantastic things going on. And that brings me to Dave Watch. We didn't even talk about that before. This
Oh.
is Ryan. Dave Watch 2019. Today is September 5th, and I'm going to put an X because Mr. Letterman is not sitting in that chair
He's
right
not
now,
here.
so we get an X for that. And I believe this was, what was that? What was that for? I can't remember. Oh, it was the holiday,
The
so we weren't
holiday.
here. And then this is circled, squared, because it's my birthday.
Your birthday, yeah.
Now, we don't have a show tomorrow, and we'll be up at Breakfast Club, of course. But it would be very nice to have some sort of news. Some sort of news. And I don't even know what I would expect.
No,
Here's what I do have some. I don't know if you know something that I found out last night. One of the people that was helping us. How do I do this? All right, let me think about this while I put this away. Have a sip here. Everybody relax.
I don't know this either.
No,
This will be fun.
No, this isn't even for us, but the person from our side who is helping us from our side, representing our show from our side, who works on many other big shows, has had his hands full.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Working on another show where the person that I'm not going to name today, that we did talk about yesterday,
Oh.
was supposed to be booked and then couldn't, and
All
they had
right.
to, and they, yeah, so it's all over the news. Like if you watch, I just don't want to be the one talking about it because it's not my place, but it is all over the place that Kelly Clarkson had a different show, her guest,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah.
I knew that. I've been staying away from it because I was afraid that was happening.
Yeah, so we didn't know any of that. But anyway, so that's part of it.
Okay.
And then and he is the liaison for our side. And then, of course, he's been the one who's liaising with the guy from Dave's side. So I wouldn't expect anything to happen this week. All I'm saying is I'm not surprised that no one has followed up from this week once I found that out.
Right. Okay.
So even though it would be really, really great to get some sort of news on my birthday, I mean, I'm still putting it out there, but I'm not holding out any kind of, hey, Monday, David Letterman's going to be our guest. I don't see that. I don't think that's going to be the case. But we're still very, very excited.
Yeah.
Very,
I
very
can't
excited.
wait for that.
And it's going to happen. I
Yeah.
don't know when or where, but it's going to happen. We've talked about the what and why. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Ryan, that brings me to the TBT. It's Thursday, and I think it may be the last thing we have to do tonight, or pretty close.
Video?
We've got a
That's fun.
TBT video. I can find it here. This is this brings us up to what we're doing this weekend, so that's why I chose this one.
Alrighty.
Roll it, Hal. saying about this. What are you saying?
This is where all the car people with dirty cars don't give a shit and come out anyway.
No, this is a water wash with a cup of coffee on the side.
There you go. A water wash with a cup of coffee on the side.
guilty that we're not.
It was quite a turnout. A lot of rain. Congrats, G.I. Jen.
Bye, Ryan. Be safe.
Nice.
Nicely done.
Yeah. And it's my
And the
birthday,
bubble.
so I pushed the bubble button. I forgot to fill it up fully, but I think we'll get some bubbles here. That's nice. I love it.
So neat. Happy birthday.
Let's see. We'll blow this up, too. Hit this. Push all the buttons today. Woo!
Thursday show. Oh my
Pardon
goodness.
me. Oh, good grief. Isn't that fun? Who has more fun in the late night play set?
No one.
Who else has a late night play set?
Oh
Goodness
my.
gracious. There
That
we are.
is so fun.
Okay. All right. Back to work here.
I don't even know what to say about that.
It's fun, right? It is fun. Mrs. Ryan, I have nothing else for today except to billboard what we're up to this weekend. Do you have anything else?
No. No,
right.
I would love to know what this weekend is.
In that case, tomorrow, Mrs. Ryan, it's the birthday breakfast club. Come on out to Newcomb's Ranch. They open up at around 9, and we get there around then. And there's Porsches till usually about noon. So, and I'm hoping the weather's going to be pretty good tomorrow. It looks good, and hoping for a good turnout. We'll see what happens. At the very least, you and I will be up there for breakfast. At the very least, Mrs. Ryan and I will be there.
I'm excited to have breakfast with you, mister.
Thank you.
Happy
Same
birthday.
here. On Saturday. On Saturday, we will be at the PEC Los Angeles morning shift event, G.I. Jen's event that we just played a video for just a few moments ago. We are soaking this place. All right, I'm going to turn the bubbles off now, I believe. That's enough of that.
Morning shift. That's
yeah,
this
morning
weekend.
shift. Morning shift down at PEC on September 7th, so we'll be there for that. And then Sunday, we'll probably be over at Malibu and Muffins.
Good to know.
And I think there's something else, but I can't remember what at this time, and it's not on the card, so I'm not going to say it.
Instagram.
Yeah, it'll be on Instagram. This is hysterical. We have not pushed everything in a while. All right. That's all I have, Mrs. Ryan. Anything else?
No, that's all from me too.
In that case, I love you so very much, Mrs. Ryan. We love
you
you
too.
so very much at home. Please love one another. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you this weekend at all over the place. We'll see you out there. Love everybody. Bye-bye.